Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Woodcarver Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and today I'm joined by Bill Willford, a carver who has not been carving for too long, but he's still a carver nonetheless. Here at the Modern Woodcarver Podcast, we celebrate all wood carvers from all experiences, of all levels, of all styles. Bill, I'm really happy to have you here today, and I look forward to hearing about your journey in wood carving. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, and glad you decided to want to do an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get started in carving?
Well, in the pandemic, I'd always thought carving was cool, like even when I was younger. It just seemed something kind of unobtainable to me at the time because I've never been very artistic outside of writing. I do okay writing, but I can't draw. Uh, I did badly in like middle school art class even. Um, but all of a sudden I had nowhere to go, nothing to do at all. And it was just driving me insane being inside all the time. And I just ordered I think I ordered a 2-inch flex cut roughing knife for my first knife, which
Mhm.
was flex cut makes good tools. Maybe a little bit overkill for what I was trying to do in the beginning because I like doing the smaller carvings.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's how it all started.
that's really cool. And I know you're kind of geared more towards the character style carvings, the little figures. Is that just what you've kind of gotten used to carving? Is that what you first wanted to start doing?
Well, really, I wanted to start doing spoons and forks and things like that first. And I found that that was not something I could really do with just a rough out knife. So I bought a Beaver Crafts hook knife and cut a little bit of my fingertip off, like the second time I ever used it.
Wow.
And so I started doing characters after that, after it healed up, because I didn't want to get stung by the hook knife again.
Yeah.
Um, and then it just got to the point where I was seeing people doing these really like silly and whimsical things, and it's like there's enough grim dark stuff out there that
Hmm.
I just want to make silly little dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's really cool. I mean, a lot of your stuff, I've seen looks very heavily inspired by Doug Linker, which I mean, who isn't inspired by Doug?
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Um, yeah, so I imagine you kind of consumed a lot of his content to produce your carvings.
Yes, I don't really remember what the first one I watched was. I remember the first one that I felt like I found success with was his little one by one owls.
Hmm.
Uh, and I still think those are some of the cutest ones he's come up with. I made like 10 as soon as because I was like, oh my God, I can do this, you know?
Yeah,
And but yeah, I love Doug's stuff. And I've reached out to him a few times on Instagram and he's messaged back and he's a really nice guy.
oh, that's great. Yeah, Doug is an amazing guy. I haven't had any contact with Doug, but I've heard just amazing things about him. And he's done more for wood carving than most people could ever achieve in three
Oh yeah.
lifetimes. Yeah,
Yeah, because he makes this niche hobby that really is kind of tough physically to get started on because your hands hurt and if you
hmm,
slice yourself it stinks, but he takes it slow enough that I think if you give yourself the opportunity and don't let yourself, you don't beat yourself up about it, you can learn a ton from Doug.
oh, absolutely. He makes carving very approachable,
Mhm.
and explains it incredibly well. And his videos are just great. I can't say enough great things about him and his work.
Yeah, because some other carvers who I think are really skilled, like I think David Young is a great carver. I
Yeah,
think the Dallo is a great carver, but they even to this day they mark so many lines on their carvings. Sometimes I lose
yeah,
track,
yes,
and
yeah,
And Doug really kind of pounds it into your head in his video, like these lines don't really matter because everything's going to change so much over the course of the carving. And
Yeah.
it just helped me understand.
Yeah. I David Young has a great channel and great carvings, but I do know what you mean because he's very heavily geometric
Yeah.
inspired. Um, and I've carved a bunch of his stuff, and I think they're great. He'll also find it a little challenging because they're very um, symmetrical, which
Yes.
is
Yeah.
extremely hard to do for a beginner.
Yeah.
You kind of have to develop that hand and that eye coordination to go with it. But yeah, I mean, his videos are great too. They're very approachable,
Yeah.
and D Dallo is a lot, a lot of reference lines. Um,
The most I've ever seen, I think.
yeah, and what's funny is I think the more experienced you are, you can follow along those reference lines, but you're a skilled enough carver to know that you can not exactly follow those reference lines.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I also just think it's almost like a left brain, right brain type thing where some people they really want every single thing detailed.
mhm.
And David Young does it in really a mathematical way, like you said.
Yeah, he's like a
Um,
mathematical wizard.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's just not how my brain works. I mean, I still bought David Young's book, and I think it's a great book. It's just not. I will look more at his finished product these days since I've been doing it for longer than the actual patterns and things.
Mhm.
Because I love his style. It's just
Oh, style's great.
all the lines. It just trips me up sometimes.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. No, I have his book too, and I love his work. And I spoke with him. He was on a previous episode, and he's a great guy and a great carver. And I give
Actually,
him
I've
I give him a lot of props because he does YouTube. He wrote a book, and
yeah.
yeah.
I actually two of the carvings I grabbed to show you that I've worked on are some of his little dinosaurs.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I am a huge Godzilla fan. So
Oh, that's
I
cool.
did green and purple one because that's my favorite one. Then one from like more like the black and white Godzilla. And
Uh,
so yeah, I love David Young's work.
yeah, that's cool. I never thought of carving a Godzilla. That's I gotta put that on the list now.
I have two Godzilla tattoos, so it's pretty much all I think about really.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Godzilla. I used to watch the show, the cartoon show when I was a kid.
Yeah, the
So
Hanna-Barbera one.
yeah, you ever want to carve a Godzuki
Yeah, I
character?
do. People hate on Godzuki. I think he's cool.
I like them. I don't. Why
Yeah,
do they hate on him?
they just feel like he's annoying, I guess. But it's like it's a kid show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember much of the show. I just remember watching it. Uh, but yeah, maybe he was annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe as an
But
adult he is. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta go back and watch and check it out.
yeah.
But no, that's really cool. And so you bought that 2-inch rough out flex cut
Mhm.
and a hook knife, which took tip of your finger off. Sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, we've all been there. And what did you end up upgrading your knife to? Because I imagine you don't still use that 2-inch.
No, no. The first like really good knife I bought, uh, I think it was. I still have it around here somewhere, but it's an inch and three quarter deep hollow knives detail knife. It kind of looks like a butter knife because it's thin
Hmm.
and long, and I like it. Um, but I bought a Badger State Blades Cutty Sark last year. Uh, Jonathan Creason recommended it, and I use it every day.
Yeah,
It's an excellent knife.
yeah. Jonathan's a big Cuddy Shark fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Jonathan actually, we talk a couple times a week. He has kind of started to mentor me a little bit, whether in an official capacity or not. I'm not
yeah.
sure it was his intention, but he's taught me a ton. I can't tell you.
Jonathan's a Jonathan's a great guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's really amazing. And talk about up and coming. I mean, in the YouTube scene,
yeah,
he's putting in a lot of work doing that, and it's well deserved. I mean, his videos and tutorials are great, and his work is amazing.
It's stellar. I mean,
Yeah.
whenever I messaged him the first time, I kind of had this picture of him as like almost like a celebrity because I think his Santas are like I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who carves Santas that are better, personally.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his Santas as well.
And so I was like, this dude's not gonna want to talk to me.
Yeah.
But he's actually just super nice.
Yeah, I mean, most of the carvers in the community, have no problem, you know, messaging back and talking and helping out where they can. I think some of the bigger guys with a lot of followers, even they would still do it, but maybe your message might get lost in the mayhem.
Yeah.
But I feel like they would still be very open to, communicating to some capacity. You know,
Yeah, I mean, everybody that I've ever talked to online about carving, like sent a message to and asked for advice. There may have been a handful of people who haven't answered, but everybody who has answered has been they've taught me a lot and very willing to engage in a dialogue about like, well, maybe don't do it this way, maybe try it that way. And
yeah,
it's really a great community.
it really is. It's been absolutely amazing. I mean, even before I started doing this podcast and everything, you know, I was I was very active in the wood carving community. I never really showed my face or talked or anything, but I would message people. I'd share my work on Reddit and Instagram and stuff. And, you know, everyone was always willing to share advice or help you with a question if you asked one. And, even starting this podcast too, that people have been absolutely incredible. The amount of people with just, again, advice and words of wisdom and all types of amazing things. Um, I feel very lucky to be in a community that
Absolutely.
supports one another.
Absolutely. Because there definitely are some that communities that do not do that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
but even like there's a carving club about 40 minutes from me, and I don't make it down there much these days just because it's a long drive. Um, but there's a guy named Roy and Jerry, they're two brothers, very, very nice guys. The first time I walked in, Roy said, "Hi, I'm Roy. What do you want to learn?" And that's like, where else can you get that?
yeah,
So
yeah. Most of these like fine art type of hobbies, a lot of people tend to kind of gatekeep their knowledge because I don't know what they're afraid of. Maybe that you'll kind of surpass them, or you'll use their style or their technique with more success than they would. I don't know what it is. And yeah, they just don't want to share. But I haven't experienced that at all in wood carving.
me either.
Um, everyone's willing to say what kind of knife they have and how they do it, how they sand things, how they paint things. They're just very open and very honest.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't tell you how invaluable that was to me as a beginner, and it continues to be extremely valuable even as an intermediate carver.
Mm.
I mean, I'm still always looking to get better, and so even if it's a very tiny tip that takes them 5 seconds to tell me, I want to hear it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I think, everyone just learns at their own pace too. And, you know, I think a lot of times people want to speed up the process of being an excellent carver.
Hmm.
And, I personally don't think I'm a great carver. I think I'm good to some
I think you're
extent.
very good.
Thank you. I mean, there's always things I want to learn and improve on. And,
Mhm.
I look at pieces that I just finished. and I'm proud of them, for sure. But then, like a day later, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, next time I can change this or do
Yeah,
that. And like I'm always looking to try and improve. So I'm always willing to hear, some
yeah,
critiques and everything, as long as they're constructive and not too mean spirited,
yeah.
because you can get that.
I'll tell you a story, Michael, that you're gonna wonder how it's relevant to carving maybe at the beginning, but I'll
Mhm.
bring it around. I have a friend, one of my best friends, John. He has a son who he's 20 now, but I used to be dysfunctionally competitive. Like I could be absolutely miserable to be around if we played a game and I lost.
Mhm.
So at his son's sixth birthday party, I was gonna let him win at a game of air hockey. And so I was like, let's make it close. Let's get it 6-6, and then let him get the last goal. He's gonna be so excited. And at the end, whenever he like hits the puck towards me, he starts to celebrate a little bit early.
Mm.
And the part of my lizard brain that hates to lose was like, you just gotta smash that puck in. And I did, and
Yeah.
I made him cry on his sixth birthday.
Wow.
And to be fair, I was like 19 or 20, so like my brain was still forming too. But I'm that way now towards myself instead of towards other people. And so like I beat myself up all the time, and like every carver who's better than me, they might not know it, but they're in a competition with me where I'm like, I gotta catch up, you know?
Mhm.
And I think it's one of those things where it can be valuable uh, to always want to get better. Like you have to learn how to juggle getting frustrated and learning from your losses, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's carvers out there that uh, I respect them and their work, but it infuriates me when I see what they put out, and I'm like, I have to get, I have to do that
Yeah,
as well or better, and
yeah.
it's definitely like a healthy driving factor. Um, so it's good to have that healthy composite competition, and it's good you're not, directing it at a 6-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm still friends with John, and his son has grown up to be a fine young man,
Yeah.
and he jokes about it, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say that kid remembers that.
yeah,
His,
I'm
hi
like, dude, I'm sorry I was like that,
yeah.
but
You gave him a hard lesson in life,
yeah, very
always.
early, very
Yeah,
early.
very early lesson.
Yeah,
So I bet he doesn't celebrate too early anymore.
nah, nah, he's a great kid, man.
That's good. Yeah. So, okay, so you started about 6 years ago, around COVID time. You're inspired by Doug and a few other of the YouTube carvers. And where do you kind of see your carving journey going? What is it you ultimately want to achieve with it?
So, I've never been somebody who really cares about money, so it's not about selling any of my stuff. I mean, I would sell stuff if somebody specifically said, "Hey, make something for me." I have,
Sure.
but I really like to I like to give gifts to people, and I think that if you can come up with something that people don't know they're gonna like, and then give it to them as a gift, it shows how well you know them.
Hmm.
And so I kind of like to just do, weird stuff with my carvings and be like I had a weird one that I pulled to show you too, actually. I can remember where I put it. Hang on a second.
That's okay.
I do not know where I put it, Michael. So, oh, I
That's
found it.
okay.
I found it. So this was, I also tried to, not to waste wood, not like for, finances or
Yeah,
whatever. But if I botch something, I try to turn it into something else.
that's a good habit to
Yeah,
to
and
keep
I
going.
have
Yeah.
no idea what this guy was supposed to be, but I made him into like a little a worm with a metal helmet on,
Okay.
and kind of like a Peacemaker's helmet. I don't know if you've ever seen that
Yeah.
show. Um, so yeah, your reaction was what I think most people think. Why'd you make a worm with a helmet on? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it looked a little bit like something else, but
Well, that's not. It's not that.
yeah. No, I think that's an amazing practice to keep alive is not to waste wood. I keep I have two buckets here, like those Home Depot, you know, 5-gallon buckets that are filled with what I call my reject pile. They're carvings that I, for some reason or another, I started and then stopped midway through. Maybe a chunk of wood broke off. Maybe the wood was too hard. Um, Maybe I was trying to make a face that didn't come out right, and I just got frustrated and threw it in the bucket. And occasionally, every once in a while, um, I'll dig through the bucket and I'll see a piece that kind of maybe speaks to me in a way, like, and I'll just start whittling away at it and creating a new character or a new face or something. And 9 times out of 10, I usually transform them into something that's really cool. So yeah. And I think it's also kinda healthy to see, like, your mistakes, um,
Yeah,
especially, like, in today's, Instagram world where everything is picture perfect. You're seeing everyone's, you know, best moments, best carvings, and you don't see the mistakes, you don't see the all the weirdness and the
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah. That's something I had actually talked about with my therapist, like when I first got into therapy a few years ago. That social media really is just a highlight reel. Like nobody's gonna post a picture where they look like crap, and
yeah,
so like don't take all the great stuff that you're seeing on there as a measure of you failing or you not being as happy as somebody else. And I think that definitely applies to wood carving too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, the whole social media thing is I think we're all a little bit narcissistic and we want to post things to say, "Hey, look at me. Look at what I'm doing." For those, imaginary likes. I'm guilty of doing it. I post things that I'm like, "Okay, I want this to be liked." So yeah, I don't blame people, but, you know, sometimes it creates a very unrealistic expectation of what to expect, and, you know, we're seeing all these amazing carvers and artists do their thing, and they're posting these amazing high quality pieces of work, but we're not seeing the 40 carvings that they screwed up before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one of Doug Blinker's videos, the bunny one he did a while back, like the 2-inch 1x1 bunnies.
Mhm.
Um, he made a joke about, it took a little time for him to get it right, and he said something like, "There's a pile of dead bunnies laying in my yard."
Yeah.
It's like, I think we've all got that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you can even see over here on my desk, back here, well, behind this post, there's like 15 half finished reject carvings that I don't care to ever look at or finish.
Yeah.
I haven't moved them to the bucket because the buckets are full.
Yeah. You gotta get another
So
bucket now.
yeah, I need like a tote bin.
Yeah.
Um, no, what's funny is I do go through them and I occasionally will start to throw some of them out. The ones that are too mainly the wood that's like has knots in it, and I know I'm never gonna carve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if there's big thing for me is just if there's just not enough wood to realistically make something happen.
Yeah.
So I'll toss something like that too.
Yeah. And then I do keep them too because my daughter likes to paint
Oh yeah.
with me. So she'll paint she'll paint those while I'm painting one of the pieces that I want to finish.
Well,
So
that's
we'll kind
sweet.
of just sit there together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice thing.
Yeah. And most of them are finished enough to where they look like something.
Yeah,
So she's still happy that she's painting like a bunny or a face or something. They're not
yeah,
like completely, you know, garbage.
yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you like these character style
Yeah,
type carvings, and so you do a lot of these full figured characters,
I do
like
mostly, and actually, I have a couple that I was going to show you. I wasn't able to find a lot of like my very, very first carvings, but this is he was supposed to be a Sasquatch type guy, and so this is probably the first 6 months I was carving. He's not. I kind of got a soft spot for him. He's not like the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
no, he's good for 6 months in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for Mother's Day, I made my mom this guy who is also
Oh,
kind of
that's
a
nice.
Bigfoot adjacent, and I think he's a lot better.
Yeah.
And then I did this little candle guy.
Oh, he's cool.
I thought he actually turned out. I think he's one of the better carvings I've ever done, which is why I
Yeah.
picked him specifically. But so I'll do, I kind of do whatever, but I don't really like busts as much.
Hmm.
So full characters is probably my preferred medium.
Yeah, I kind of bounce back and forth between styles. I'm on a realism kick these days, and lately I've been kind of on the caricature style kick because I've been talking to so many caricature style carvers. Um, but yeah, every time I do one of these interviews, I've kind of get inspired by that particular carver style, and I want to go on a run of their style
Yeah,
for a little bit. Um, so yeah, I like to bounce around. I don't really like to stay in one particular lane. I kind of just do whatever makes me happy in the moment.
yeah. I'm the same way. And like definitely if you pick something and you just do it over and over again, you're gonna have better results than if you just do a hodgepodge of random things. But it also
Mhm.
gets boring if you do too
Yeah.
many of the same thing. Like I know Jonathan has talked about getting burnt out doing Santas. And it's like he
Yeah.
cranks them out. He cranks them out, so he's gotta get tired of it sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I've, I was, last year I was teaching like a workshop in my neighborhood, and, I was teaching them how to carve mushrooms. You can see a couple of them up there.
Yeah,
Um, they were just simple inch and a quarter by inch and a quarter by 2 inch blanks. Um, it's a very easy project for a beginner. You learn all the basic cuts. It's a very easy type of shape. You can't really mess it up.
yeah.
Um, but every time I would do the workshop, I would also carve along with them, and I'd carve mushrooms. And I have like, I don't know, 80 of them,
It's a lot.
because yeah, I'd carve one or two during the class, and I did it. I can't remember how many classes I did, but and then I also carved a whole bunch of different style mushrooms to show examples of what you could do once you learn how to carve the mushroom. Like, you can flare the cap out this way, you can add ridge lines, or you can create the little frilled uh,
The gills,
stem, the
things.
gills or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, or you can add a door to it. I did ones with
yeah,
little fairy doors or with little faces on. So I carved so many of these mushrooms, and I painted them, and like they're everywhere, and I don't know what to do with them.
yeah.
And I even carved some of these wands, with a mushroom on top.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I like that.
A little wizard Harry Potter wand, and
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I was like, you could adapt them to anything. And but
There's
yeah, I got tired of them.
yeah. It's funny. Wands were one of the things that I wanted to get into when I first started too. And so there was a little girl in my neighborhood who would say hi to me when she was out walking her dog with her mom. And she saw us making a wand, and she was like, "Oh, it's like Harry Potter." So I told my neighbor, next time you see her, tell her I've got something for her. And she comes down and she goes, Jerry said there's a little boy here who has something for me. And she was like 8 or 9. I was like, no, it's me. Here's a little wand. And she really liked it. But it's just funny that she defaulted to it being a little boy having something for her. So I'm
Oh,
like
that's
six
funny.
three, and yeah, so I'm a giant human being.
Yeah.
And it's just cute.
Yeah. Now, since you are good friends, well, I wouldn't say good friends, but since you know Jonathan and
Mm.
you're obviously inspired by him and he's kind of unofficial mentorship, do you have any desire to carve Santas?
Yeah, I did a bunch. I probably did like 12 last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. One of my best friends asked me to make one for him, one for his son. It was the same guy whose son I bullied that one time. But him, his son, his father-in-law, his mother-in-law, and his sister-in-law. And it was actually the first time I'd ever carved female faces because he wanted some Mrs. Clauses for the ladies. And so that was challenging, but in a way that I really appreciated. It's like, you kind of want a woman's face to be a little bit softer, and it's
Yeah.
it's a lot different.
Yeah.
But I think I learned a lot from it too.
Yeah. I'm on that kick now trying to carve female faces and I'm struggling.
It's hard. It's really hard.
I am really struggling to get the shape right, the softness and the beauty aspect of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, for some reason the ones that I have been doing either look uh they kind of look like orcs from Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
don't look quite like orcs.
Oh, they're pretty rough. Well, I think it's the nose. I'm struggling with narrowing the nose down, and then, or if they don't look like orcs, they look like they're dead. Like they look very like sunken in.
Yeah, I got
You know what I mean? Like,
you. Yeah.
so I'm getting there. So what I'm doing is, which is something I wish I did in the beginning when I first started carving. I mean, I have my first carving, but I don't know what happened to like the next 20 carvings I did after the first one. So what I'm doing now is, at least with the female faces, I'm keeping each one of them. So I have them. I don't think I dated them. I think I just numbered them like 1 through 5. So I know which ones I did first. And I'm gonna see what I'm like when I started versus a year from now or however long I'm on this kick, just to kind of see that progression.
Yeah, in like the caricature carving groups on Facebook, I feel like at least once a week there'll be someone, often a woman, who says, I'm kind of sick of seeing like so many men with broad noses and beards carve some ladies. And so like
Yeah,
it's like I do want to do that. It's just so hard.
it's really hard. Yeah.
But it's
And
definitely on my list of things to improve at.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy because the character style carvers are hard enough in their own right. Even just the cowboys and the like, those are difficult to get right. But then to add a whole like feminine aspect to it, because you can make a cowboy and keep him rough and beat up looking, and it fits.
Yeah.
And you do a female carving, and depending on like if it's a rough looking female, you can maybe get away with it, but that's not really the goal you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is just like a lot of the bigger, well, almost all of them really, like YouTube woodcarvers are men. And I think a lot of us just don't have those types of sensibilities. Like we don't
Hmm.
have the context for, what women look for in fashion as much, or we see our own faces in the mirror. So it's just
Yeah.
difficult to establish that because I think we all kind of want to do it right if we're going to do it,
Yeah,
And it's kind of like it's a skill that even really good carvers don't always have. And nobody wants to be the person who puts out a bad looking carving like we were talking about.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also do a lot with the beard. I've seen like these crazy whimsical style beards with the curly cues and the little, the blowing in the wind. There's a guy now. I wish I could remember his name. He does the Scandinavian style flat plane carving, and they're awesome.
Are you
And
talking
he
about
does like
Charles Banks?
maybe I'd have to double check it, possibly, but he's doing like these these guys in like a sweater and their hands in the pocket, and the beard is just like blowing in the wind,
I
and
know the
it's so
exact
cool.
carving. It's so
Y-
good.
Yeah, and I just love those. Yeah, I wish I could remember the name right off
If
the top of
it's
my
if it
head.
is Charles Banks, he also has a book, and I think it has like 20-ish characters in it. So I'd recommend picking it up. I haven't dove into any of the projects yet because they're tough, but he
Yeah,
does amazing work.
yeah. I'm trying to look it up now. Maybe yeah, yeah. Charles Banks does it. I didn't realize he had a book. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
called Learning to Carve Interesting People in Wood or something along those lines. But there's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
yeah, I'm gonna pick one of those up because I do want to get into that flat plane a little bit more because it is really cool and interesting, but it's hard because it's simplistic.
Yeah, because I do feel like definitely you can kind of cover up some of your mistakes with details,
Oh, absolutely.
and you don't get that in the flat plane carving. It's like you want it to be pretty close to perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no room for error in the it's funny because all those, like, simplistic things are very deceptive looking. People see it simplistic and they're like, "Oh, that looks easy," and it's a lot harder than a severely detailed piece. The detailed stuff might take longer because you're
Yeah,
adding all those elements.
yeah. Man, I'll tell you, I love Johnny Layton's. He does a lot of beards on wizards that are really cool. Talking
Yeah.
about like the curly ones. Also another a really nice person.
Yeah,
Um,
Johnny's great.
yeah, yeah. Always like chatting with him.
Yeah, and again, another YouTuber who's just killing it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's doing his thing on there, and yeah, and he's such a nice guy.
yeah. I would like to. I live in West Virginia, so I think like the closest bigger carving convention that they will have is in Charlotte, which
Mhm.
Jonathan went to this year. I think he goes every year. I would love to go there and get to meet some of the people I've talked to online, and I've seen pictures, and there's a lot of amazing stuff there.
Oh yeah, I would love to go to one of those shows. Yeah, I know there's a couple of big ones. There's the Charlotte one. There's the Roundup. I think was it in Utah or
Yeah, that's too far for me.
yeah.
That's a
Um,
little too
there's
much.
the Lancaster, Pennsylvania one, which passed a month or two ago, a few months ago.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I've never been to one of those carving conventions. I feel like they'd be a lot of fun just to kind of meet everybody and see the work up in person.
yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to a carving one. I've been to like comic book conventions and toy
Yeah,
conventions, and even those types of things. People are really nice, and those communities can be a little bit more bullheaded than the wood carving
yeah,
community. So I
a
have to
little
imagine it's
extreme.
just yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine it's just a blast hanging out and
Oh yeah, yeah. I would think so. I mean, just given how great everyone is online and messaging people and chatting with them through you know phone calls and stuff. In person, everyone's got to be just as nice. I can't imagine it would be any different.
yeah. And one of the things that whenever I reached out to you that made me want to do the podcast and to talk about something a little bit different is, for a long time in my life, I've struggled with depression, and I was a hobby hopper, and like I literally have crochet needles on my desk right now that I have never used, that I've owned for probably 10 years.
Mm,
And carving is kind of the thing that, like, between depression and ADHD, it didn't really seem like something I would stick with. But then you get into it, man, and like there's so much fun stuff you can do, and every carving is kind of like a decision tree because you make one cut and that changes every other cut you're gonna make for the rest of the carving, you know? And
yeah,
so in that way, it kind of makes you hyper focus about what you're gonna do next instead of being, your head darting around every which way.
yeah,
And there's just a lot of it's cathartic to make something and give it to someone and them enjoy it, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad that the carving can help you with that. That's some heavy stuff, and I know there's a lot of people out there, especially in the wood carving world, and even the maker community that struggle with mental health. And it's a big serious thing, and a lot of people struggle with it. And what's funny is I'm gonna recommend a friend of mine. His name is Andrew Hatch. He has a podcast called um, the Workshop Therapy Podcast.
Okay.
Um, and he's a maker just like us. He's not a wood carver, but he's a woodworker and he builds things and he makes things. Right now, he's building his house. He lives up in Canada, so he's building it from scratch. And he just recently got his doctorate as a therapist.
Oh,
Um, and his podcast revolves around mental health in the maker community.
okay. I will definitely check
Spec-
that out. That sounds very interesting.
specifically the maker community. And he has some experts come in for his last episode had a woman, I believe she was from Scotland, and they have like a not a clinic, but like a shop over there where people with autism and other spectrum related issues can go in and they can build things and use that time and space to create things. So yeah, definitely check out that podcast.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it, yeah, it's been going for a few years now. He's been doing it for a while. But yeah, I'm glad that carving is a positive outlet for you.
Yeah, me too, man, for sure. Because I've been writing since I was a kid. I learned how to read with comic books, so I've written a lot of that type of stuff over the years, and some poems. But it's like sometimes it's even if you might feel better afterwards, it's difficult to dig into the things that hurt you, you know.
Sure.
And so sometimes it's nice to just pick up a piece of wood and sit on the porch and get a little bit of sunshine and make a goofy little dude.
Yeah, forget your troubles for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think also because wood carving is one of those hobbies that because you're producing something, you can maybe not right away, but you can walk away with a finished piece and be proud of it. So you're accomplishing something. So it's keeping you not only your hands and your mind occupied and you know can take away some of those bad thoughts or negative feelings, reframe it into something positive that not only are you can be proud of, but you're building a skill set at the same time. And I think it's a great thing.
And I know that this is not exactly like a hot take, but getting away from your phone is also just good sometimes because
Oh yeah.
it's very easy for the black mirror to turn into a black hole,
Mm,
and then you just sit there and you worry about every little thing. It's like just getting outside, and I'll use it to pull up reference photos or whatever, but
yeah.
not
Yeah,
looking
but
at
that's different from endless scrolling on Instagram shorts and
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It helps
Yeah.
you forget about there's this. I can't think of the name of the guy who made it, but there was this video. Are you familiar with the Call of Cthulhu? Like H.P.
Um,
Lovecraft type stuff?
I know the name Cthulhu. I don't know too much about it.
Well, the big thing that the video went into is, it's this big squid monster with wings, and you look at it and you turn insane, right?
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people kind of think that's just because you see a big squid monster. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But the video talks about how it was more about like how something that different from what you know can exist and not
Mm.
even really perceive you, and cosmic indifference. And in a way, it feels like the phone can be that. It's like there are all these things that I can't change or fix. And not that we can't affect change in the world, but sometimes it's just nice to not know all of these terrible things that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah. There's way too much information passing our brains every half a second.
Mm.
I mean, we can scroll. I do it all the time. I scroll through Instagram and I'm seeing wars going on. Then you'll scroll to the next thing and you'll see some chick promoting her OnlyFans, and then you'll scroll and you'll see some guy falling off a building. Then you'll scroll and you'll see like a funny video. Like it's just so much information that's happening rapidly, and I think our minds just it's weird like how we process things now because we just gloss over it, but we're still retaining that to some degree, and it's still like eating at us and weighing on us.
Yeah.
And
Like it feels like some elasticity in your brain is probably good, but not that much, you know? Because if you're just pinging back and forth over and over, it just doesn't seem like it's the intended function to me.
yeah, there's something that I've been wanting to try recently is because I'm guilty. I look at my phone constantly, um, but I've been wanting to try like a no phone day because I don't think I've gone anywhere without my phone in years. Like
Oh,
it's always in my pocket, in my hand. It's always around. Um, so I've been really wanting to just pick a day um, where I actually turn the phone off and leave it inside the house and just go about my day without it. And I think it'll be a lot tougher than it sounds. Like I know it's easy to just turn off and put somewhere, but I think I'll struggle.
yeah. No, I think that's a very common thing is like you would love to put it down, but it's just like, what could I miss? I could miss a million things in a day. So it's scary.
Yeah, and I don't even know what it is that like I'm afraid to miss because uh, what really is there? I mean, nothing significantly that I would care about, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Unless I mean the worst case scenario is someone I know or love is trying to reach me in an emergency situation, but uh, there's ways around that, like if I don't have my phone, someone else will have their phone
Yeah.
and I can be contacted through them or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I do want to try and I plan on doing.
Yeah, I mean, I got back into collecting physical comic books a little bit just to do something that I'm physically holding instead of
Hmm.
swiping through and reading
Digital.
on the screen. And I'm trying to find ways to become less reliant on the internet in general. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I was born in it, brother. I've I've used it religiously forever, and
Yeah.
I will tell you this straight up: the internet was a mistake. We
Yeah.
we as a society, like we can't be trusted with it. But since there's no way to reverse time, it's like, I'm already in. you know?
We flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how old are you? You
Thir
said
Thirty-three.
you're 33. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm 37, so we're roughly around the same age.
Yeah.
But I remember a time when there was no like it, people with computers were people with money,
Mm.
and not everyone had a computer, um, and cell phones weren't a thing until like I was maybe, I don't know, 13 or so. 14, I think, is when I got a phone. And I don't even think it was my phone. I think my mom let me borrow hers to go to
Yeah.
school. Um,
Yeah. I got my first cell phone, I want to say around 12 or 13 as well.
yeah.
Um, I had internet, during the dial-up days, and like
Yeah.
I remember my mom, like I would be playing games on like CartoonNetwork.com or whatever,
Yeah,
and
I
sh
remember that.
and she might like pick up the phone and order a pizza, and it would disconnect me and be, Mom, my game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So you're into comics. What's your favorite superhero?
Batman,
Batman. Okay. Yeah, yeah, gotta love Batman.
yeah,
So you're more of a DC?
really more of a Marvel guy. Honestly, I just think Batman's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Who's your favorite Marvel?
Spider-Man,
Spider. Okay.
yeah,
Spider-Man's from my neighborhood.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm in Queens, New York.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you're from.
Yeah.
My stepmom and little sister actually live in the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I have a little bit of a connection to New York. I don't like it there,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, if you're going to the Bronx, I don't blame you.
well, New York doesn't feel like it was made for big people.
Uh, yeah, I can see that. At least in the city.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I've have been to Madison Square Gardens for a pro wrestling event. One of the best experiences of my life. So like I
How's
guess it's
it?
not fair to say I don't like New York as a whole. There are parts of it I like, but
That's anywhere you go though. There's going to be good
yeah,
and bad of everything.
yeah.
Yeah. New York's not as bad as people like to paint it as. I think we get a rap based on movies and TV.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, oh, there's crime every inch of it. And don't get me wrong, there's crime, but it's not as extreme as the movies would make it out to be.
Well, the main thing for me is I live in Huntington, West Virginia, which is Marshall University. They made a movie about it like
Yeah,
20 years
the
ago.
football movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I live in that town, little college town. So going from little college town to anywhere in New York is like it's culture shock,
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
Very cool. I like Spider-Man. The Hulk is my favorite.
yeah. I love the Hulk too. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
the Hulk. I mean, I love Batman too, but that's a given.
Yeah, but yeah, have you read Immortal Hulk?
I did. I don't remember much of it. My favorite one is the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk
I love that's my
series.
second favorite. I love Immortal Hulk
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I can't remember Mortal Hulk. Mortal Hulk. I know he lives forever. Um,
Do they go some places like some weird
yeah,
places?
that's the one where like at the very end he's sad, right? Because he's finally alone.
No, not so. There's some stuff with him like eating existence. Like he becomes Galactus but stronger basically.
Gotcha.
But then it ends up with him kind of like unraveling a lot of his childhood trauma. And it
Hmm.
turns into like a therapy session for Hulk that he desperately needed.
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta reread it. Because I do remember reading it. I just for some reason can't remember it.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah. No, I love the Hulk. I mean, they don't do him any justice in the movies, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So, any plans on carving like a Marvel superhero themed
So
character?
I actually found this guy. I didn't plan on showing this guy to you because he doesn't look great, but I do have a little Batman that I made when I
Oh,
first
he's
started.
awesome.
So he's all right, he's got the little cape and
Oh, he's great.
Thank you. But this was
Yeah.
this was probably my first year of carving, and it made me go like, I should try that again.
Yeah, you got to revisit that for
Yeah.
sure. And you're working on pretty small, tiny blocks. Are they 1 inch by 1 inch?
I mean, one by ones are my favorite. I mean, I will use 1.5 by 1.5 and 2 by 2s, but whenever I was like 15, I dislocated my left thumb
Hmm.
and broke the tendon on it and stuff. So it multiple times every day when I'm carving, my thumb slides out of place. I have to pop it back in, and it happens more when I do bigger carvings.
Yeah. Okay.
So I tend to stick to the smaller stuff because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like all different blocks for different applications. I like the 2 by 2s for the wood spirits. I like the 1 by 1s for the little tiny gnomes and quirky little things like that. Um, Lately, I've been really into these like 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch square pieces, mostly for characters. I've been doing some of these. Yeah, here they are. I've been doing guys like this, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
little gnomes and stuff. I really like gnomes
I do
and
too.
wood spirits.
They're fun.
But yeah, those are. And I started, experimenting. I'm not doing just gnomes. I started doing here's a little guy cheering, jumping for
Yeah,
joy, stomach's hanging out.
I like that
Yeah.
guy.
And
One
then go
one
ahead.
one type of block that I'm trying to get into is like more like relief carving stuff. Not full relief carving, but like I was trying to make it's super ugly, but a little Game Boy.
Oh, those are cool.
And so they're like
Yeah.
the 2 by 2 blocks cut right down the middle. And I'd like to learn how to do more stuff like that, or like David Young did the 6-inch Santas, the old world Santas. I
Hmm.
think they were also an inch thick, maybe, or half an inch thick.
Yeah.
And so that's a medium I have not really explored is the flatter, more relief style carvings. And
Yeah, those can be fun. You would need more like of the palm gouges to, to get it done right, I guess.
yeah.
Do you have any palm gouges?
Yeah, I've got a handful. Like I've got a Stubai Soft V, uh, and then I've got like it has like a 5 gouge beginner set that I got for my birthday 1 year. And but
Hmm.
I use a knife, no joke, probably 95% of my carving. Like I do very
Yeah, me
little
too.
with gouges. One thing about palm gouges is I'm always like wrapping my knuckles on whatever I'm working on, and it's
Hmm.
annoying.
Yeah. I've adopted the technique of palm gouges where I hold it like a dagger. So I'm not like stabbing it. I'm like,
That makes a lot of
so
sense.
for instance, if this is the blade and this is the handle,
Mhm.
I grip it like this. So I kind of, wedge it and carve that way instead of pushing it. Um,
Yeah, I've never thought of that actually.
yeah,
I'll have to try
because
that.
when you do it that way, I found that like I can rest my wrist on the actual piece and use that as the leverage pivot point to create the scooping motion. I mean, there are times where you'll have to flip it around and use it the other way, but majority of the time that's how I'm using it.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thank you for the
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty useful.
Yeah.
How do you like the Stubais? I don't own any. I've heard some cool things about it. I'd like to get some.
Yeah, so I've got it sitting here. It's nice. I mean, it's a very pretty looking tool. It's comfortable to hold. Whenever it came in, uh, almost immediately I chipped it, and
Oh,
that's
that
that's that's
sucks.
on me, not the tool. But I ended up having to send it. Alan Goodman sharpens tools, and I sent him. I'm terrible at sharpening, so if I chip
Yeah,
something bad enough that I know it's going to take a really long time to fix, I just shoot it his way. So
yeah,
I haven't actually used the soft V as much as I would like, but Jonathan swears by it. I've seen Johnny use one a lot, and I like what I've done with it, but something I need to practice with more for sure.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the V tools. I like using veiners, basically a V with the, maybe that's the same as a soft V. I'm not sure. But yeah, I use little veiners. Um,
Yeah, regular V tools always feel kind of like they either go too deep or not deep enough. Like it's really easy to blood if you don't go, or if you go too deep, but if you don't go a little deeper, then, you're not really getting the depth that you're looking for.
yeah, and that's the trouble I've had with them.
Yeah,
Either too shallow or too deep.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I have a set of file chisels, palm gouges, and because of that, like they're expensive, and I mean they're amazing. So I've never had the desire to really go out and buy other brands
Mm,
like Stubai because of that. I
yeah.
just felt like I didn't see the need. Feel like because I have a premium set, but I mean, yeah, I would still like to try them. I just
How many tools would you say you have for whittling and wood carving?
oof,
A lot.
that's a tough one. I mean, my files palm set alone, I think there's 12 to 15 of them. They come in packs of 4 or 5 or 6, so I've gotten several packs of those. I have about anywhere from like 20 to 30 flex cut palm gouges. 15. Well, remember also I was teaching a workshop, so I ended up
Oh, that's
buying
true.
a bunch of flex cut. So I have a bunch of flex cut straight knives and detail knives and stuff. Um, I won't, if not counting those, if you just count my regular like go tos, I probably have 5 to 10. I have two Helvies. I have like 6 or 7 flex cuts, and I have a couple. I got a Badger State blade now, and a couple others. I mean, I probably have like 50 or 60 tools if you count them all. And then even in my cabinet back here, I have the bigger bench gouges, for larger scale.
For like lathe work or
Well, I do have lathe tools, but I have just the
gotcha.
carving chisels.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I have lathe tool. I mean, I have essentially a full wood shop. So I
Gotcha.
have a lathe and all that other good stuff. But
Yeah, I've tried most of the like bigger name knives. I haven't tried Drake or OC tools, but I think I've tried.
yeah, I haven't tried either.
I got a big detailed knife from Focuser that I was very pleasantly surprised by. Like they were kind of up and coming, but their stuff was pretty cheap for what it is. And it took
Hmm.
a really long time to get here because I think they're based out of Asia somewhere.
Yeah,
Um, but man, that thing is sharp. I do,
I heard good things about Focuser.
yeah. I like convex edge a little bit more than a flat edge. And theirs are like super flat. So if you're not a big flat edge person,
Yeah.
um, well, it's the blade. It says big colorful detail knife or something, but it's actually more like what I would think of a rough out knife as.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really good that's what I use a lot for 2x2s till I get to the
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. I mean, I love my Helvy. Um, it's incredible. I just got the Badger State blade maybe a couple of days ago. I mean, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be a few months. But uh, and so far, I really love the Badger State blade. Um,
Which one did you get?
I got the Clipper, I think it's called.
Clipper? I haven't tried the Clipper or the Cliffhanger, but I have.
Oh, the Cliffhanger. I got
Okay.
the Cliffhanger.
See, I have
Yeah,
not tried that one yet. I have tried the
yeah,
Goldilocks. I really, really like it.
yeah. I want to get the Goldilocks. What I really want to get is their eraser tool.
Oh,
Um,
bro, I do have an eraser.
yeah,
Highly recommend.
yeah. It's on my list. I did reach out to them requesting one, and um, I think I also requested a Goldilocks. I gotta go back and check the email, but
They
yeah.
had Goldilocks they posted on Facebook, I think last year, one of the like dyed burls, and
Uh,
it looks like the Van Gogh painting Starry Night.
yeah.
And I picked it up off of them. It's a great
Oh,
knife.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, they did a thing where they posted the scales, like the knife, the handles, and they had this cool green and burl wood. They were like, comment below who wants it, and I was like, me,
Yeah,
I want that one. So yeah, that's the one that I picked, and I forgot which. I think it's the Goldilocks I asked for with that handle.
yeah. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, no, I like the knife. So far I haven't really sat down yet and carved something from start to finish with it. I've just been tinkering with it here and there, but from what I've you know used it for, I really like it.
Yeah, and Ashton, I've talked with her some on Facebook. She's super nice too.
Oh, she's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We did an episode with her as well. Her and Libby.
yeah. I've never spoken to Libby, but they seem like they have fun
Yeah,
together, so
yeah,
I'm sure she's cool too.
yeah. No, they're both great.
Yeah, we like some of the same music, so chit
Oh,
chat about
cool.
that every now and then.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of music?
The big one that we have talked about is there's a band called Bill Murray. It's spelled Bilmuri, and they did like a weird like country and metal album.
Okay.
And I'm usually not a big country guy. I'm more of a punk guy. But the album is really fun. And she posted another band that I didn't know it. I can't remember who it was. But then I said, check out Bill Murray, and she's like, oh yeah, we're playing this in the shop.
Oh,
So
cool. I got to check them out now.
yeah, they're fun.
I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Bill, I really appreciate you taking the time to hop on the podcast and talk about your journey. It was a great conversation, and I really enjoyed your journey and your process and everything. If you guys want to follow Bill, Bill, let everyone know where they can follow you.
I have Instagram. Bill Wolford writes is my Instagram handle. I'm not the biggest social media guy, but if you want to follow and see what I'm working on, or if you want to reach out and chit chat, I'm game. Anytime.
Yeah, definitely reach out. Show Bill some love.
Thanks.
All right. If you like the podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and share. It really helps the show grow and it goes a long way. We'll see you in the next episode.